I still want to be a veterinarian. But one day, two things happened. There weren't a lot of African Americans or African American women in television in my market in Little Rock, Arkansas. There was one woman. Her name was Margaret Preston. She was on the NBC affiliate. She was a evening anchor. And then some years later, another person came in, Pamela Smith. She was on the ABC station.
Okay.
We watched these women, these Black, beautiful women on TV.
Yeah.
I never made the connection. And it wasn't until one of them, Pamela, she was on my high school campus because that was the day she was doing a live shot and she was just a couple of feet away. She was doing a live shot because that was the day the teachers union decided to strike.
Wow.
So my mom is about to, strike on her job, and I'm being confronted with the possibility of my future job. Didn't quite know it at the time, but I took notice. And then the second thing
This is Dr. Rodney Ducker with the lively art of conversation where we live, we learn, we earn, we pass it along. Join us every Sunday at 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. as we bring to you our story on the lively art of conversation. It's more than just a radio show and the podcast. It is our story that creates your story based off your tests, based off your message, and also based off your triumphs. Everything about our story creates your story, and it's our tribe that creates your vibe on the lively art of conversation. So thank you for joining us on the lively art of conversation where we live, we learn, we earn, we pass it along. Tune in. Happy New Year. I'm back once again. This is your guy. You know that guy, Dr. Rodney Ducky, with the lively art of conversation where we live, we learn, we earn. My goodness, we pass this along. I have a wonderful, phenomenal New Year, great show with a phenomenal person, like really a phenomenal person. But before we get into this, and I have a lot to say because it's a new year, I have to give credit to my underwriters. Before I even zoom to my underwriters, thank you for supporting me for the last 8 months. It really means a lot to me that you entrusted me to put out this effective communication for everybody to enjoy. This is all about lively art of conversation. This is all about us coming together as one to have those conversations that we should have around the table. Our conversation sometimes is laughter. Our conversation sometimes is sad. Our conversation sometimes may feel a little bit of anger, but guarantee that our conversation is all about heartfelt emotion. And that's what the lively art of conversation is. And there's some people behind the scenes that make this combustion engine move. And at this time, I would like to honor them.
This is Lavina Sabri with So Natural Catering and Bomb A Lemonade, and you're listening to The Lively Art of Conversation.
Hello. This is Rodney Ducky with the lively art of conversation. As we live, we learn, we earn, and we pass that wisdom along. Join us every Sunday from 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. as we bring to you our story. You bring your story, we give you our story, and our story is how we engage in our community. Everybody has a story, and we're waiting to hear your story. So if you're interested, reach out to us at livelyartofconversation@gmail.com.
Looking to elevate your brand or capture unforgettable moments? New Image Media offers top-tier videography, photography, personal branding, and more. They combine creativity and quality with fair pricing and friendly service so you get the results you want. Whether it's a business promo or special occasion, they bring your vision to life with quality you can trust. Choose New Image Media, where your image is everything. For more info, email media@newimagemiallc.com. Words have power. They connect, heal, and inspire. That's the mission at Better Watch Your Tone, LLC, founded by Toni B. Shelton. She's empowering through powerful poetry and prose with hundreds impacted through speaking events, workshops, and 8 self-published books. Ready to honor the story within? Discover books and coaching at betterwatchyourtone.com. For event poetry or book writing support, email tonyshelton@gmail.com. Let's use our words to uplift. Better watch your tone. You've built a life worth celebrating. Now it's time to be seen. At Las Foto de Lance Photography, they don't just take portraits, they capture the fire in your spirit and the power in your presence. Whether you're reclaiming your confidence, owning your story, or stepping into a new chapter, Las Foto de Lance Photography creates luxury images that reflect the real you. Visit lasfotodelance.net or drop by their Harker Heights studio. Las Foto de Lance Photography, unapologetically you, immortalized.
Hello, this is Dr. Rodney Duckett with the Heritage Legacy Curators. You're looking for something for your kids to do this summer? Well, reach out to me at Impact Outreach, IMPAC Outreach at gmail.com, because Heritage Legacy Curators is all about collecting oral history. So if you have stories that you would love to pass down to your kids, or if you have a project that maybe your kids need to do as it relates to oral history, bring those family albums out and we'll sit there and we'll sort through those family albums. So that way we can collect those stories and keep those stories within the family. So that way they can be the next speakers to curate your family reunion. Hey, we're back with the lively art of conversation, where we live, we learn, we earn. My goodness, we pass it along. You know what I do about this time is I tell you to pull out your pen, your paper, your iPhone, or whatever you're working with. If it's that phone bill you haven't paid, just flip over that envelope in the back, grab you a pen or a pencil, and begin to write. You know, I have these themes. Everybody comes to me and say, hey, Hot Rod, what's going on with you, man? What you got planned for the new year? And I always have to tell people, I have no such thing as a new year. I'm all about regroup, reorganizing, and restarting again. That's what I do. I do that every day that I wake up. So some healthy tips for 2026, and you'll hear me say this throughout the times. Everybody knows I work with youth in the juvenile detention center. I've been doing that for quite some time. But one thing that I tell the youth in the juvenile detention center is this right here. Focus on 5 minutes. Those first 5 minutes when you wake up. Those first 5 minutes when you wake up controls the 16 hours of your day, because sometimes my juveniles that's in the detention center or some of my young men that are inmates, that's all they get is 5 minutes to control their day. That is your freedom. So whatever those 5 minutes lead you to, if it leads you back to sleep, if those 5 minutes lead you into prayer, if those 5 minutes just lead you into silence, whatever those 5 minutes are, those 5 minutes are guaranteed to you. Reason why we do that is because we've got to always make sure our cup is full. I want nobody in 2026 pouring from them cup. As a great Tiffany Gibson will say, I want you to take my overflow. That's right, my surplus. So with that being said, let's start it off right. This year's word is going to be current. And you probably say, why current? Why is current so important? We use this word current and currency a lot, and a lot of times we don't quite grasp the concept of what that means. When we think of currency or current, sometimes we think of money, sometimes we think of water, and yeah, that's all right. But currency is much more powerful than just that. Think this. Current is a verb, meaning that it's an action, meaning that you are a current, a body of motion when you go out and reach and touch the world. Current is so important that it's like a drop of water into an ocean. That one drop is significant to an ocean. So the quote of this week to start off the new year is this: the smallest drop applied of action sends ripples of currency across the whole system. What are you going to do in 2026 to make this world better? What are you going to do in 2026 just to make yourself better? Start thinking of the lines of currency. And I'll leave you with this very, very important question. Why do we self-limit ourselves? Currency is all about building power. How do you build power with your self-limitations that you impose on yourself? I'm asking you to unrelease those things that are holding you down and move forward and become who you are. Now, if you follow me, you're going to hear me use the word currency all year long. Currency is extremely important in this day and age, and I'm going to tell you why it's important. Right now, we're so focused on money, we don't understand the other three elements of currency. And those other three elements of currency is energy, knowledge, and time. If you apply knowledge to energy or energy to knowledge, your time is well invested. And guess what? You're going to always make profit off of that. So focus on you being the current to create the currency to break the world great. So with that being said, my goodness, I'm sitting beside currency right now. She is a current. Every day she's on the news giving us currency and a current. I mean, she always brings a delight to everybody's face. I always call her the great Keisha Lopez. I mean that. Like, she's like an empress, the great Keisha Lopez. She is a empress, and I truly do adore her. I've been knowing her for 20 years. I don't think she wants to tell the world that. I think she wants to keep it a secret, but I've been knowing her for 20 years. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you my start of my new year, this vibrant, beautiful, lovely girl wearing green, by the way, currency, Miss Keisha Lopez.
Oh, wow. Maybe it was divine that I wore this today. How about that?
Keisha, girl,
Ooh,
you coming.
I've been making notes.
You making notes, girl.
I was making notes.
Girl, you coming in like a fresh of like men or something like that.
Wow.
Look at you.
Thank you.
Look at you. Did
Thank
you wear this on news today?
I did.
Man.
Yes.
How do you navigate looking so good 24 hours of the day?
You only see part of that time, okay? It's not. I don't always look like this all the time.
Oh my
But
goodness, Keisha Lopez. I want to do this. I want to do this because I think everybody knows you on the other side of doing the interviews and controlling. Because you kind of bossy, you know that, right?
Well, I'm assertive. I like to, get to the point, so that people understand what you're trying to say, and then move on to the next thing we need to hear.
Well, rule number one with Keisha Lopez, she's going to be probably correcting my grammar here.
No.
So I hate to send her text messages because I was like, I'm bad at my grammar with text messages. I bet Keisha Lopez said, "You are such an idiot, but I'm going to respond back to you." So you're awesome, Keisha. Has anybody ever told you that?
Just a couple of people.
Just a couple of people.
And I love you feeding into me right now.
Yes,
I'm going to just sit back and accept that.
Yeah. Keisha, I want to talk about the genesis of Keisha Lopez. Mm-hmm. I want to talk about you as that young girl before you even got on the microphone and in front of a camera.
Honestly, I think I wasn't always in front of the microphone, but I was in front. I was in front of people. I'm the product of a single parent home, and we've got a lot of hams in the family, and I definitely inherited that gene. I was the one that was, and my brother, we're totally different people, by the way. He's 3 years younger than I am. I was the one, you didn't have to play with me. I could play by myself. I mean, honestly, when he was born, he was, like I said, 3 years younger. I was just kind of left to my own devices. Mm-hmm. And I would go into my room and play with my dolls, play teacher, play soap opera, whatever it was I wanted to do. And sing. My mom, she would always yell at me from across, the house, down the hall, whatever. Girl, stop that. Because I'm the one, I like to sing. I like to, and I don't know if it was subconsciously wanting to be heard, but I was definitely the one that kept up the most noise at home. My brother was a whole lot quieter than I was. But yeah, when I went to school, I was involved in theater.
Okay, I can see that.
So yeah, I mean anything to get me up front. When guests came over, I was in the room where the adults told me not to be. Just being seen. But yeah, when I got to high school, it was like my moment to find something that was vocal, that I could use my talents. And not get in trouble because I'm supposed to use my talents. So it started off with speech. So I would do speech, and then it moved into drama, and I would do musicals. That was really fun for my mom because I would practice the musicals at home.
Can you sing?
Wait a
minute, Keisha. I was going to ask you to sing something, so.
Exactly.
Okay.
So. We're not going to do that right now.
Yes, ma'am. We're not.
Although, funny thing is, I've been singing all morning long. And I'm telling you, no, and I'm not going to sing. But I know that the directors.
Ballsy.
I know the directors, because they always have my mic on. They're probably like, God, here she goes again. And it doesn't matter what it is. I think we did a story not too long ago. We were talking about Thriller, and so Thriller was in my head. And so I'm Michael Jackson all day long. And then I love Barbra Streisand.
Really?
My mom, oh Lord, yes.
Barbra Streisand.
And when I'm in my Barbra Streisand mode, it's like, Lord, my child.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. And then I grew up around music too. My mom, and I don't know if it was just a black family thing or if it was just my mama or just my mom and her aunt, but there was always music in the house, even like on Saturdays. KOKY. You know, she would always play. There was a station she would always go to on Sundays after church. You know, we've eaten and, you know, we've let the windows up because the weather is nice. She would turn the jazz music on after church. So there was always music in the house. And it's funny because people who are just a couple of years younger than me, still within my generation, a song would come on. You don't know nothing about that.
Uh-oh.
And they're like, man, yes, I do. Like, seriously, all of the, we went from Coltrane to listening.
Oh, yeah, Coltrane.
Okay.
Oh,
listening to Coltrane.
Definitely.
And then, Gladys Knight. I sent my mom.
Oh, yeah.
I sent her, in fact.
Midnight Train to Georgia.
Yes. I sent her a video I found on YouTube. It was Whoopi Goldberg. It was her birthday. I think it was a clip from a while back. And Gladys Knight was on there. And I sent that clip to my mom, and she doesn't always check her messages, but she checked it, and she sent me I needed that. Thank you for that. You know, just something from her generation that she can identify with. Because I know lately I've been listening to a Pandora station, and all these songs that I heard like in college and in high school.
Comes back.
It just takes you back.
Yes,
I'm like living. I know you're talking about currency now.
No, that's a good thing.
But it just took me back. Even, I was doing some driving even just yesterday, and I'm listening, to the music in the car and singing, and then I kind of be quiet and I'm just thinking. I can see myself 20, 30 years ago, singing to the same song and whatever was going on at the time. So,
and I'm glad that you said that, because when we speak about currency, music is a form of energy, and a lot of people don't know that. And going back into what I do for a living, a lot of Alzheimer's patients that come, or dementia patients that come into the emergency room, a lot of times we attach them to their music from their generation, and it normally calms them down because they can go back into that loop memory and bring that forward. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm stuck on yacht rock. I don't know if you ever heard yacht rock before.
I'm sorry, what is that?
Oh my God. So yacht rock is just a recurrent station where they play just a barrage of different music. And
for instance.
Yeah. So for instance, I'm on a tune right now that has George Benson on it.
Okay.
It has Michael Jackson on it. It has the Pointer Sisters.
Oh.
It's got all, and the DJ just mixes it in so smoothly. And it's like a little get up and go type thing. I'm a George Benson guy. I love George Benson. I think he's a cool. Yeah. Can I? No, I cannot sing. That's the one thing that I cannot do.
Come on, everybody sings in the shower.
Oh, no,
You're there by yourself. You got the acoustics going on. The water, that's also drowning out some of the extra,
No.
Come on. Okay, the car.
Last time I sang outside, birds fell from the tree.
Oh, no. Oh, no. It's not that bad.
It is.
I mean, but you have a nice voice. I'm sure you can.
I do. Maybe if I was trained, I guess I would be okay. But I don't know. I always told people, if I could sing and dance, man, it would be no such thing called Michael Jackson.
Oh, wait, you can't dance either?
Not really. Oh. Yeah, I know. My stock has just went down with Keisha Lopez. It has just plummeted. It's like through. I'll take this back.
It's okay though.
I used to dance when I was younger. Now I'm dating myself. Okay, so but I think throughout time I just kind of strayed away from it a little bit.
Why?
So I don't know.
It's expressive.
You heard in the morning.
Yes. But when you get out of that shower and your muscles are loosened, I mean, it's time to just kind of, even if you're in your car, just, work your chest a little bit, like something, open up a little bit.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
Cardio.
It is good cardio. I think one time I was listening to something on the radio and I was by myself in the house and I was just doing some moves, man. I was like, oh man, this just brought me back to the time. And then the next day I was like hurting. Yeah. I like my knees, my back,
that can happen.
My hairline, everything was hurting.
But if you do it more often though.
Okay.
If you do it more often. So fun fact, I went to Arkansas State University. It's not a fun fact, but I went to Arkansas State University. That's where I majored in radio, television, and emphasis in news. That is also when I became a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Is that why you wearing green?
You know what? It's just in me. It just I didn't plan it. Like I said, it's divine. But so I was on the step team.
Okay, now.
And we've been talking, one of my good friends and I, one of my sorority sisters, we were just talking about, some of these young girls that come in now. Ooh, we could not do the things that they do today. But I tried. And yes, the hamstring or something?
Yeah, the hamstring.
I pulled some tendons, some ligaments were a little bit sore the next day. But that's all right. It was fun doing it.
So let's go back. You're from Arkansas, right?
I'm from Arkansas.
You're from Arkansas. You're probably the only person I like from Arkansas. You know that, right?
Oh, no.
We had this conversation before.
But there are other people from Arkansas that are...
I don't like them.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, just you.
Okay. I will accept that. How about that?
I'm working on myself in 2026.
I'm going to take that.
No, so tell me a little bit about your journey in Arkansas and how you got to this area.
So, how long ago was that?
Oh my God. You look like you're 20.
It was a while ago. No, like I said, I was raised, single parent home, and everyone that I can think of in my family were educators. Mom was a special ed teacher. My aunt taught, kindergarten, first grade. My grandfather, history. My godmother used to tutor me because I'm a words person, not a numbers person. She was the geometry teacher. My cousin was a principal. Like, everybody was in education. I did not want to do education. That was not it for me. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I think one day I thought, I'll be a veterinarian.
Okay.
Why not? Right?
Yeah.
Never had a pet, except the only critter that made it into the house, goldfish.
Okay.
And they only last, I tell you, like no longer than 48 hours. I don't know what was going on in that house. But it's like we would see them and we would put the food in there, and then the next day when we come home from school, it was just floating.
Oh my goodness!
And I don't know what happened. Every single time I got a goldfish, and then one day my brother stepped on one. They always met these untimely demises. It was horrible.
How would your brother step on a goldfish?
Because I think I picked it up one time to play with it, and it like flopped out of my hands, and he just happened to have one of his little cowboy boots. And he stomped. It was the weirdest thing. But again, they don't survive. I don't know why. But I still wanted to be a veterinarian.
Okay.
Didn't have any dogs. Mom didn't want to get dogs. And that was what I was going to do. So back in the day, I think this was in 9th grade or so. Did you guys take aptitude tests?
Yes, we did.
Okay. I don't know what that was for. I
Me
think
neither.
they were trying to tell me what I would be good at.
Yes.
And I answered the little Scantron, questions or whatever, and I got the results back, and I cannot remember what it was. I just remember seeing it and being totally dismissive. This is some mess. I would love to say something else, but this is some mess.
Yeah.
Okay? This is some BS. I don't know what it was, but this was not it. And it was just something that was totally not me.
Yeah.
And that was it. And so I still want to be a veterinarian. But one day, two things happened. There weren't a lot of African Americans or African American women in television in my market in Little Rock, Arkansas. There was one woman. Her name was Margaret Preston. She was on the NBC affiliate. She was a evening anchor. And then some years later, another person came in, Pamela Smith. She was on the ABC station.
Okay.
We watched these women, these Black, beautiful women on TV.
Yeah.
I never made the connection. And it wasn't until one of them, Pamela, she was on my high school campus because that was the day she was doing a live shot, and she was just a couple of feet away. She was doing a live shot because that was the day the teachers union decided to strike.
Wow.
So my mom is about to, strike on her job, and I'm being confronted with the possibility of my future job. Didn't quite know it at the time, but I took notice. And then the second thing that happened, a couple months later, we were at my grandparents' house for Christmas, and my older cousin, he's in the business as well. We're in our own little club. We're like the firstborn club.
Firstborn club.
Not that we get all those privileges or anything, but we're in the firstborn club because my brother and his sister, Brittany, they're the same age. So they're frickin' frack over there, Even though Barry's 11 years older than I am, we had the most in common, not these kids. And I always wanted to be older than I was anyway, so. But, and then I get a lot of my interests and stuff he's introduced me to. But he gathered us all in the den and was like, sit here, watch this. And of course, I'm like, oh my God, what is this? Because he's dramatic. He's a thespian. I'm thinking it's some sort of play or something, or he recorded a video. It was him in college doing the news at his station there. And I remember thinking, oh my God, that's it.
The click.
That it did.
Yeah.
It did. Seeing Pamela just a couple of steps away, like, it almost like it made it real. Like, you see these people on TV and they're just the talking head, but she was like actually there. He is actually doing it.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh snap, this is what I'm going to do. And that was it. From then on, I was laser focused on being a television news reporter, anchor, whatever.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just the whole he's on television, I want to be on TV. I love talking to people. I love talking to people. I love hearing their stories. Even my mom, if she were here, she would tell you, I always asked, why? We're going to go to the store. Why? What time? Why? I mean, I always asked because I wanted to know. And I wasn't just, being a little irritant to her. I truly wanted to know why. Wow. Even today, in all of the conversations I have, I'm not struggling, but I'm always wanting to understand. Yeah. I want to know why.
Yeah.
So I think it was the best decision that I made. I have not looked back. So yeah, I graduated from Arkansas State, and I thought, hey, I'm about to get me a job, right? No, it did not happen that quickly. Not at all. It took me, I think, 6 months. Back then, I think, and maybe it's still that way now, I don't know, but it seemed so competitive. And it took forever. And my first job, I ended up in, I worked in Clarksville, Tennessee.
Okay.
The main station was in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Okay. That was where I learned. But it's all, I wouldn't trade this journey for anything. The ups, the downs, whatever. Never been to that part of the country before. Didn't know anything about it. So glad that I had the choice to either work in the main station or the bureau, which I chose the bureau because it was in it was more of a city.
Okay.
Than Hopkinsville, the little town. But I learned so much there. It was where I learned about the military, even though, my father wasn't a part of my life back then, but he was in the military as well. But I learned about the military at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. And I remember as a young reporter, Bush is coming to town or General Petraeus is about to make us. I was there. Didn't know anything about it, but had to learn kind of on my feet. And it was a great experience. Even in that bureau back then, we had nothing. I don't know if it was a sign of the times or it was an independently owned station, but it taught me so much. I've always been an independent spirit anyway, so that wasn't a problem. Leaving home, not a problem at all. I was ready to go and spread my wings and be this person. But I learned so much. We didn't have scanners. I drove my own car. I had to learn how to identify sirens, whether it was a police, it was fire, it was EMS. I had to identify smoke. I see something. Oh, okay. Well, it's black. It's time to go over there. Oh, it's white. It's steam. Whatever it is. I had to learn these things on my own. I also had to learn, and I never really heard the word networking back then, but it was kind of what I was doing. On the job. Just didn't really understand what it was or didn't know what to call it. But I had to make contacts on my own. I had to find out who these people are that could answer the questions that I needed to get answered.
Yeah.
And I never will forget, he's deceased now. Chief Williams, he was the fire chief in Clarksville. And he was so cool. He was kind of your complexion. He had this white hair and Keisha. He had the longest draw I have ever heard on any black man. I'm so serious. When I introduced myself and he said his name, I was like, oh my gosh. And of course I'm in this new place and I'm like, where am I? But he was so cool. He would call me. He would wake me up in the middle of the night because he knew how I felt about tornadoes.
Yeah.
And he would just let me know about stuff that was going
Wow,
on.
that's awesome.
He took me inside. I know it was horrible. This family lost their home, but he took me inside their home, like right after the flames were put out.
Oh, wow.
And obviously today they wouldn't let you do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I survived. But it was an experience to be inside that place and to feel the ground like just radiating heat. I mean, I was inside of an oven.
Wow.
But he thought it was an interesting experience, and he was like, come on, let's go inside. And I was like, shit, okay then. I have been on top of, I'm telling you, in my time reporting, I have been in homes that have just been burned, on top of fire trucks when nobody knew.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I climbed up there. I wanted the best shot.
Okay.
There was it was an awful situation. This is when I moved from Tennessee to Georgia. That was my second job. And there was a supercell. What is a supercell? I had to learn that. That came through Georgia, South Georgia, and Sumter County. Americus, the hospital there was blown apart. And I had to go down there to cover the story. This is out of my range. I don't know these people down here. I ain't got no contacts, but I had to go and cover the story. And there was just logistically even getting there was something, and having to figure out if I had street smarts, which I've developed because of that first job, trying to navigate all of the closed roads and the
Wow.
debris and the law enforcement and the onlookers, because people wanted to see what has happened. I mean, it was a nightmare, and I wanted a shot that nobody else had. And so I saw a fire truck. And I mean, the camera, I've always had a small camera. So I just climbed it.
Wow.
And nobody knew. I didn't realize it was on top either. It was cushiony too. 'Cause, I mean, the hoses are up there.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know what I
Yeah.
was going up there,
Yeah.
What I was going to encounter, but I just needed to get higher.
Man.
And I mean, and I always say this to people, you can see the destruction on TV. We can shoot those videos, but there is nothing like being there. And I think that shot got me a little bit closer to showing you what it was like to be there.
So you've got this pioneer tenacity about you, because in a sense, you're kind of paving your own way, but paving the way for others to let loose the story. And I think that's why a lot of people, when they see you on news, they admire you. And when they meet you, they really fall in love with you. There's a couple of kids that I've taken personally to come and see you, and they still say, we see Keisha Lopez this morning on the news. I mean, like, she's going to be on the news every morning.
Right?
So, but they get so excited because, like, they have this personal connection with you, because you took time out of your busy schedule to just walk them through the station and talk to them. Yeah, so that means volumes.
Well, that's a part of meeting people, right?
Yeah,
and
it's a
talking
part,
to
but
people.
not everybody's nice like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a very special thing, and I'm not saying anything bad about anybody,
no.
but just sometimes people are just not nice like that. But I would like to give my hats off to you for the wonderful job that you're doing. So with that being said, we're going to shift over to a commercial. This is Dr. Rodney Duggan with the Lively Art of Conversation. We'll be right back.
Words have power. They connect, heal, and inspire. That's the mission at Better Watch Your Tone, LLC, founded by Toni B. Shelton. She's empowering through powerful poetry and prose, with hundreds impacted through speaking events, workshops, and 8 self-published books. Ready to honor the story within? Discover books and coaching at betterwatchyourtone.com. For event poetry or book writing support, email ToniShelton@gmail.com. Let's use our words to uplift. Better watch your tone. Looking to elevate your brand or capture unforgettable moments? New Image Media offers top-tier videography, photography, personal branding, and more. They combine creativity and quality with fair pricing and friendly service so you get the results you want. Whether it's a business promo or special occasion, they bring your vision to life with quality you can trust. Choose New Image Media, where your image is everything. For more info, email media@newimagemiallc.com.
Hello, hello, hello. This is Rodney Ducky with the Lively Art of Conversation. As we live, we learn, we earn, and we pass that wisdom along. Join us every Sunday from 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. as we bring to you our story. You bring your story, we give you our story, and our story is how we engage in our community. Everybody has a story, and we're waiting to hear your story. So if you're interested, reach out to us at livelyartofconversation@gmail.com.
You've built a life worth celebrating. Now it's time to be seen. At Las Foto de Lance Photography, they don't just take portraits, they capture the fire in your spirit and the power in your presence. Whether you're reclaiming your confidence, owning your story, or stepping into a new chapter, Las Foto de Lance Photography creates luxury images that reflect the real you. Visit lasfotodelance.net or drop by their Harker Heights studio. Las Foto de Lance Photography, unapologetically you, immortalized.
Hey, we're back with the Lively Art of Conversation, where we live, we learn, we earn. My goodness, we pass it along. If you have any interest in doing a commercial with me, reach out to me at livelyartofconversation@gmail.com. If you have an event that's coming up, if you want commercial, or if you're just looking for an interview on the show, please reach out to me so that way we can get you scheduled. And I'm back with Keisha. I don't know if I can say that.
You can.
Keisha.
Yes, the mama, Keisha.
Oh man, that is crazy. So for you guys that are just now tuning in, Keisha kind of took us through her life experience growing up, being the little girl of the gift of gab and always out front, to being this pioneer trailblazer that scaled to the top of a fire truck to get the best scene so the viewing audience can take in the ramifications of what was going on around. So this is her and her life. But one thing that I want to talk about Keisha right now is her accolades, the things that she's earned along the way. Can you tell me any prized possession, awards, things that stand out that maybe Keisha has not told the world because you didn't think it was valuable, but tell us some of the valuability of Miss Lopez.
Well, so a couple of my stories have been recognized by the broadcasting agencies or organizations, rather, even the Texas Medical Association.
Oh, wow.
There's one story I love health stories. I don't do as nearly enough of them as I want to, but there was one I did on vaping. And it was kind of early on when we were starting to see more vaping products on the market and in the hands of young people.
Yes.
And I, even years later, I can see that is still, unfortunately, the case. But I know back then, students or young people were having trouble with respiratory issues because we learned that, okay, while it was marketed as something like an alternative to smoking cigarettes or cigars or something, that some of the companies were putting additives in there that were not good for your lungs. And so when that news came out, that's when I did that story. So that was one. Most recently, though, I'm a part of the Making the Grade team at my station.
Okay.
And the whole point of that was to focus on education, like school-related news, things that parents really want to know about. Safety definitely was one of them. What I honed in on, because I remember when we were having brainstorming sessions about what aspects of education should we focus on. Obviously safety, and I let somebody have that. But I wanted to focus on school choice. Because I don't know why, but it was just one of those things, and I'll talk about, listening to your gut later on, that just kind of gnawed at me or just kind of like, okay, you need to look into what is this thing. For years we had gotten emails about school choice week, national school choice,
Yes,
and I'd done some stories, and okay, parents they can choose what, but I didn't really understand it. And it wasn't until I dove into the school choice issue when our legislature, was trying to pass it, term 1, term 2.
Yes.
About it wasn't until then that I really looked into what this is. And I didn't think parents really understood what it was. And then for us to use a different mechanism, not just the vouchers that some states have, but this education savings account. In fact, we had a story not too long ago, one of my coworkers, oh, it's a voucher. It's a voucher. I'm like, no. Well, I'm like, nah, bro. It's not. That's not what it is.
Yes.
And I know that sometimes even the media will use the term interchangeably, school voucher or ESA. I like to call it what it is. It is literally a checking account. It's a checking account. It's an account, and it's not just a voucher from a tuition. It's it's for education expenses. So that's your child's tuition. You might need to get some cleats for the football. I mean, whatever. Tutoring, it can pay for more than just tuition. So it is not a voucher. It is a savings account, a bank account. And a lot of parents didn't really understand that. And even to this day, and I think probably for a couple of years to come, parents will still have questions about how does this work?
Yes.
And, even now I'm noticing, I don't know, it could be just me. Maybe I wasn't paying attention, but it feels like there are more schools popping up.
There is.
And more schools planning to be accessible to these funds. So, but that was one of the things that I think it was the Texas Broadcast Association, TAB, that recognized us for that work. So, and it was fun doing the story because I actually used graphics. I had no video, zero video for this thought that we're dealing with. And I just used graphics. And it was fun trying to figure out ways. We're always trying to find the best way to relay the information to the public. And even with us, it's hard to understand some of the things. And my mom, like I said, she was a special ed teacher. So she used to talk to us, in manners that we could understand. Even to this day, I have to see it. I was learning Spanish. Don't ask me to say anything because still struggling with that fluency. But I had to, learning that vocabulary, I had to see it, I had to say it, and I had to write it.
Okay.
To retain it. And so for people who learn differently, they might need to see it. So me just saying it's this, it might not register, but me using a graphic and showing you the flow of dollars, maybe then you'll understand it.
Yes.
So I had to come up with some interesting ways to visualize this concept so that people can understand it.
Yeah. And it's good that you say that because last year I was really into the language thing. And if you navigate through the system and the communities, and see the division, most of the division lies because based off the language that people speak. It has nothing to do with if someone speaks Spanish or not. I'm just talking about everyday English language. Because sometimes in order to truly speak someone's language, you can effectively communicate with them. And what your mom does was she spoke to you guys at a level which you can understand. Not speaking down to someone, but speaking at a level where they can understand.
Yes, and even to this day, and I recognized it then, not, I didn't have the credentials to call it, I was this type of learner, but I knew that I could understand it better this way than I could the other way. I was talking to one of my students, it's no secret, I even teach over at MCC. Remember, I didn't want to be a teacher?
Yes, and you're still teaching.
I've been there, I think, since 2015. But and I was talking to one of my students, and, students have such a hard time with reading comprehension now. And I don't know if it's a memory. I don't know what it is. And I do have someone that's very close to me that does have memory issues. Yes. And I've even told him this. I share the experience. I have put together all my furniture. I was when I learned about IKEA.
Oh Lord,
yes, golly. I just needed somebody with a truck and some space and who could lift. So yes, I put together my furniture all by myself, and I even love to do it. People will ask, "You want me?" Nope, I got it.
Man,
when I get those directions, I don't know what they're saying, but I can take it step by step. Okay, everything is laid out. Okay, and I'm gonna take this. And I'm having to read it out loud to myself. And do it at the same time so that I can understand what I'm doing and if I'm doing it correctly. If the directions ask you to do something and there's 4 or 5 parts to it, it's fine. Take the first part, do it, take the second part, do it, or even make a list and check off each time you've completed each task.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know.
No. You're a tough girl. I'm telling you, IKEA, I'd be wanting to like, gasoline match and just burn it up in the front room.
But do you know, I feel so. But when I feel so accomplished when that sucker is put together, and I've got furniture, especially those bookshelves that I've had for years.
My goodness,
and they are still standing very good. I mean, I can bump into them, and they don't tip over. None of that.
Keisha Lopez is taking your orders for your IKEA put together projects right here.
This could be my side hustle.
Because I'm telling you, I do things, but sometimes I get those instructions. I'm like, what in the world did I just get myself into?
But it's about finding a way, and I think that
you like puzzles, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, see,
I play Sudoku, but I think it goes back to just even growing up. She was with my brother because he was a whole different person. I didn't need to be supervised all the time. Well, it depends on how you look at it.
Yeah,
I didn't need that constant supervision. I would encounter an obstacle, and I'd figure out a way around it. I tell people I can never get lost. I'm getting older now. Maybe it's changing, but
you'd be out of an escape room in 10 minutes.
What? Where am I? But no, seriously, I would. Oh God, and oh my God, my poor grandparents. When they bought my car when I was in college, the first thing I did, I kid you not. Oh, thank you. Oh, this is great. And the moment they drove off that campus, I got in that. I waited till they were out of view.
Yeah.
I got into that car and I drove the other direction. I just drove.
My goodness.
I didn't know where I was going. Had not been to that county over there.
Wow.
But I drove and I found my way back. I know my directions. So I knew the school was back that way. And so even though I turned this way a couple times, I knew how to get back. I always find a way back.
Goodness. Wow. Mm-hmm. This is Dr. Rodney Duncan. You listen to Lively Art of Conversation. We'll be right back.
This is Keisha Lopez, and you're watching The Lively Art of Conversation.
We're back with The Lively Art of Conversation, where you live, learn, earn. My goodness, you pass it along. I am here. Did I say I'm here? I'm here with the great Keisha Lopez. And this is her offset right here. This is the real Keisha Lopez right here. My journey with you goes back 20 years, the first time that I met you. And I actually met you through Reverend Roscoe Harrison. The genesis of my whole show right here is based off of him. And I remember him coming up to me and says, "Young man, I would like for you to meet someone." And I was like, "Yeah, who is it?" "Keisha Lopez." "Oh, the lady that's on the news." "Yeah, she's single." And then he winked at me. And I was like... So I wound up meeting you, but you was actually dating somebody at the time because he was right beside you. I said, I think Roscoe trying to get me beat up. So I was like, but you were the same person that day that you are today. So every time I've always encountered you, it's like we've been knowing each other I guess we've been knowing each other for 20 years, but it seems like it's like I grew up in Arkansas with you because you've got this infectious, this thing about you that when you're with someone, you just embrace them and you bring them into the Keisha Lopez world.
Oh, you're going to be my hype man.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Hey, yes. I'm ready for the late night show. Bring me on. Yeah, definitely. I work better at night, too. So, yeah, but no, you've always had that about you, and I do appreciate that. And really, across the board, when people do talk about you, they say the same thing. It's like when we're in her presence, we feel the genuineness of who you are as a human being. And you just can't find that because a lot of people fake the funk, and they really do. They fake the funk because it's not organic for them, but I'm telling you, you have something special within you that draws people to you. You will definitely be a magnet to attract everything to the world in your presence because of who you are. So don't you ever lose that trait, no matter how sad you feel or you just feel like you want to give up. You remember the words of Dr. Rodney Duckett right here. You are a magnificent woman.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm just thinking of ways I can replay this. replay this in those moments and I'm like, why?
So let's do this. This is a moment where we pass it along. We got an audience that's out there and they're listening, and you have young ladies, young men, or older people like myself, and we're looking for something. We're looking for something that we can take. And a lot of my words that I share is words from other people, is words that I've come up with, this combination of different things. But I'm always willing to give something to someone to make them better. What would you give the audience out here today?
I was thinking about that, but something else just came to mind when you
go
said
ahead.
that. I would like to say, I don't think it's anything profound, but I say trust your gut.
Trust your gut.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think there is something in all of us, especially if we're listening, that will tell us, if we're on the right path or not. And my grandmother, you just said that, she used to always say this to me: watch as well as pray.
I love that.
So we're gonna use grandmother's words. She would always say that, and oh my gosh, I can see her right now. She would get close to you. It's like you could feel, like when you get close to someone, you can feel that, like their energy.
Yes.
She would always do that and say, watch as well as pray.
Yes.
And then she'd say, give grandmother a kiss. And then she'd walk out the door. And she meant it. And she meant it. And she said some other things too, but I don't think we truly appreciate those things until, or those people until they're gone.
Yes.
And, even now, and she's been gone since 2005. Even now, I'm in a situation and it's like I hear her voice saying those things that she would say to us, and we heard them all the time.
Oh, yeah,
it's just
definitely.
like, okay, grandmother, okay, we'll see you later.
Yeah.
But I mean, I believe it came from a place where she knew.
Yes.
She knew.
Yeah, I mean, the elders, when they drop those jewels on you, it is so beautiful. Papa would say, trees have seeds. You're my seed, and you will become a tree. And I've always remembered that. So whatever I do, it's like wherever I plant, I've got to be able to cultivate that ground to make sure it's better for the next person. So yeah, your grandmother was on to something beautiful. I love that. Say that one more time.
Watch as well as pray.
My goodness. Look at that. What?
My turtle.
You know what, Keisha? That's a book.
Yeah.
That's a book.
I don't know if I have it in me, but maybe I can,
Girl, you deal with words all day long.
But no, seriously.
Yeah.
It touches so many areas of my life even now. And she's been gone for 20 years. Come
but
on.
you know what? So I just left a major conference, DMPs of Color, it's a scholarly Black conference they do every year. And we talked about the analogy, death. And we talked about how life after death looks to certain people. And we see death sometimes as, perishment of the body back to the ground. But really the container, if you go back even into the word in the book, it's about the spirit within. And the spirit within sometimes manifests itself within you. So your grandmother is with you because you just dropped your grandmother. You spoke that name and you evoked life into your grandmother so all the world can hear. So that spirit still dwells within you.
Ooh, she's glad now.
Yeah, look at her. She's like, girl, get grandma a kiss.
I know. That was her. That was her.
Oh, my goodness. Anything else you want to pass along to the audience? Well, what's new on the horizon for Miss Keisha Lopez? What you got going on? Late night show? You going to have Rodney Duckett be your hype guy? What's up?
You don't want to do an early morning show?
Hey,
you know what?
yeah.
Honestly, I don't mind my shift. I really don't. I and it's funny because, before I got into this business, I wouldn't get up before 2 p.m.
Really?
Before 2 p.m. Mom, girl, you can't lay in the bed all day long. And I'm like, it's the summer break. Well, you need to find something constructive to do. And I'm just like, man, come on.
Oh, my goodness.
Or don't let me be, old enough to where we could go out.
Yeah.
And then come home late.
Yes.
And still, you ain't got to lay in the bed all day long. And I'm just like, Mom. But honestly, the shift, it's not bad. Going to bed in the summertime early, that could be a little problematic.
Yeah.
But in the fall and the winter, it's not bad. And then once you go to work and then you get off, you've got the rest of the day to pay the bills.
Oh, golly.
Do the things that you need to do.
Yeah.
But no,
the adult stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Adulting?
Adulting.
I can adult for the rest of the day.
Yeah, goodness.
But
that's
it's good though.
Rough part of it. So, my goodness.
But yeah, just working.
Yeah.
Just working. I know our show expanding an hour so far, just an hour. We'll see if it goes beyond that. So yeah, there's a lot to keep me busy. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm proud of you. We have a shared friend. She's been on the show before, and she spoke very highly of you. One of your sisters, Tony B. Shelton.
I was about to say, go on and drop the name now.
Go ahead and drop her. Tony B, wherever you are. You know, she always come on here and call me an old man and stuff like that. I don't know what's wrong with her. My goodness. But no, she speaks very, very highly of you. We talked about you in length after the show. You know, she's someone that she just reveres you, you know. And so many, that's what I'm saying. There's so many people out there that just loves them some Keisha Lopez.
Well, I will tell you this. It is nice. It's nice to hear that. And that's not coming from a whatever place, but it is, because in this day and time, when the profession is under attack.
Yeah.
And even, and I was thinking about this on the way down here, like race relations. Like, I'm sure my mom would be like, girl, we had it worse than y'all got it right now. I mean, and maybe that's true, but I'm definitely seeing more.
I got you. Because it's all over the news. It's all over.
They may not be spitting on you, but it's there.
Totally different. Yeah, it's there, and people are experiencing it. And I think I said this on one of my shows just recently. Just talk about, there's really a attack on the educated black woman here in the United States of America.
Preach.
And I've seen that more and more. And as a man, me personally as a man, I don't tolerate that. So I'm always fighting the defiance of people that want to say something against that, because these are our mothers, our sisters, our aunts, our daughters, and we have the right to defend their names and their keepsakes for who they are. So you continue being you. I'm telling you, have some bail money for me just in case someone says something bad about Keisha Lopez or Jasmine Crockett or anybody else. I'm coming for you.
All
no,
right.
I'm just playing. Because they probably had me locked up as soon as I leave out of here. So Keisha say, I got 5 on it.
Right? I got 5.
See, I got to sing it now. See, you heard it here. Keisha Lopez is singing. Oh, my goodness. Well, it's been an honor and a privilege being with you. Thank you very much. I know it is your bedtime. It really means a lot that you took this time to hang out with me. And as I always tell you, if there's any way I can be of service to you, please let me know. And I'd love to have you back again, in the next few months or whatever. Love to bring you back on anything that you have going on, and just keep being Keisha Magnificent Lopez. Just keep doing the wonderful things that you're doing, and just know that you're a part of someone's prayer channel. So that chain is there, and people are praying for you, and Grandma's spirit is right there next to you, right there. Trust me. Hey, Dr. Rodney Duckett, like I said, I brought the current, that brought the currency. The magnificent one is right by my side, Miss Keisha Lopez. Hey, trust your gut. That's what Keisha said. Trust your gut. It's very important that we trust our introspection that's inside of us, so that way we can make better decisions, because we know the answers. So just trust your gut. And with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in with the Lively Art of Conversation, where we live, we learn, we earn. My goodness, that's right. The magnificent one, Keisha Lopez, pass it along. We will see you next week.